Hey Zach,
Hey Julia,
how's it going?
I'm really tired. So Mindy told me she's been keeping you posted on what I've been doing.
Yeah, she said you did an internship over the summer.
Yeah, I'm actually doing one now as a graphic designer too.
That's great.
Yep, that's what I've been up to.
Just gonna grab a pen. Um, did you see the video from Thursday?
Yes, I did.
I had to recreate it because I screwed up.
No, I watched it.
Did it make sense? Do you have any questions about it? It makes sense?
No, this class I feel like runs just like the other class. It's just longer.
Yeah. Well, you can start and we can look at your stuff and whoever joins, joins.
Okay. Do you want me to share my window?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah.
All right. So my objective, I want to
Hi,
do.
Caitlin. Hey. Okay, Zach's just presenting, just FYI.
The objective that I'm going to do is it's going to be nonprofit, so it's going to be like marine conservation.
Hmm.
And the objective is teaching and forming prospective viewers on oceanic ecosystems, endangered such as oil spills, overfishing, destruction of breeding, and destruction of coral reefs around the entire planet. Um, the problem on the website is it's going to be helping inform people in the academics that are going on now. Um, so you can go through the about page, see what the entire company focuses on, so to educate and support major causes and help donate if viewers feel the need to donate or want to take action. The target audience is going to be people who have the sense that they want to protect the world's oceans to keep them looking like they originally were. So the age range I picked was around 25 to 50 because I feel like that's pretty much the age for most donation or nonprofit volunteers and whatnot. Uh, Expected outcomes. I want the client to feel that it's going to be ease of functionality as well as the best way to find information. So it's going to have a really good architecture. Um, it's going to have some interactive properties to get people learning in an interactive way and see what's going on. Um, Description of projects. It's going to be ideas, flowchart, wireframe, interface design, and then mock-ups of that design, and then go into the final mock-up and design of it. So I did my little architecture flowchart, and I came up with this idea. So the home, and then it's like what we do. This is gonna be the main navigation. I'm thinking about having like a smaller navigation up here, but it's not gonna be part of the main one. So it's gonna be like what we do. So like the about us page, and then like what they're doing right now. So like main campaigns or stuff like that that's going on. The journey that they've been going on, expeditions if they've got any expeditions overseas to go take a look at some reefs or anything that's being endangered now. Um, Achievements that they've done, so things that they've actually accomplished, and then endangered reefs. There's going to be a map on the entire planet, and to have circles where all the most endangered reefs are around the world. Raise arms is kind of like a donation page. So it's like what can you do to help solve the cause? Donations, their partners, and other people that are participating in the cause. You can donate stocks if you have stocks that you feel like you want to donate. Um, Internships and careers will be in this one. And then over here is kind of like it's like a subset of a blog post. You have like it's called Living Blue, and then you have like sustainable food guys. So it tells you about fish and things that people eat that have extra mercury and things inside of them. So it's kind of what that is. And then when I did my mock-up, I came up with this idea. This is gonna be like the image of like you can select a certain part of the continent, and it'll take you to the continent, such as like Australia or South Africa or whatnot. And then this is where I want the sub navigation bar. So this will be like the about us and blog and something else up here. And then these will be your main four, which are these four up here. And then of course the logo. And then I want um, a really big image here. And then this will be a smaller image with a transparency on it. And then this can be some things that are going on now, currently. And these will be current blog posts, just like four captive blog posts that people have been posting within the last like 24 to 48 hours. And then I want an image of an event that you can donate to. So we'll have like this. We'll have an image and then like a brief description with an image on it. And then this will be like a donate button. So like take action and donate now to this specific thing and all that. And then this will be the campaigns where you can see what campaign. This will be the campaign that's currently going as of right now. And then these will be like subsets of other campaigns that have also happened that you can also take a look at. And then you can go down here, and this is like an extra donation, like because donation is always heavily influenced on pages. So this will be like another donation. You can donate like 5, 10, 15, 20, and then this will be like an other. You can donate more, whatever value you want. I don't know what I want to put in here yet, but I feel like I just want to put something in here.
Hey, Caitlin, do you have any reaction to what he's presenting so far? I'm just curious.
I mean, it looks good. I mean, it looks better than what I've got. So, let me look.
I didn't know exactly what we needed today, so I just did like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think the wireframe looks really good, actually. Like, I can, picture it and stuff. So.
Can you go back to the beginning of your proposal, Zach?
Yeah.
I have some minor things and then just some major. Can you keep sharing? Are you still? Oh wait, maybe that's my screen. Let me just make sure. Okay, now I'm watching you. The minor things would be to format this so it looks more like a proposal. And I know this is just your first draft, but using very clear headings and that kind of thing. So that's the minor thing. I think the bigger thing is I feel like you're kind of figuring out who the client is as you're going along, because when you talked about different features of this site, it was like, oh, wait, that's what the client does as well? And I feel like you got some more ideas about who this client is as you went on and you started working on it. Is that kind of the case?
Yeah.
So now that you've taken this first draft at it, I would think about going back to the beginning and saying, this is a international nonprofit, it's a US-based nonprofit, what is it? And at times I think you even referred to it as a company. So I'm not sure if it's a company or a nonprofit, and I think that should be stated very clearly from the beginning.
Okay.
And if it's a nonprofit, what specifically are you trying to do? You're trying to raise money for protecting the world's oceans. Okay, now how are you going to do that? And then some of your choices later on can be justified based on the objectives that you said at the beginning. So for example, that large area in your interface where you're going to have these pictures, maybe those are pictures that are like really inspire people to take action because they're pictures of the ocean with oil all over it, or like just nasty things, those trash circles that are in the ocean. I mean, I think that once you have a more specific objective, then I think that I think it's going to be easier to justify some of your design decisions. And no, you even said, like, at this spot, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. But if you keep going back to what your objective is, then I think those questions will be answered a lot more easily.
Okay.
So I would go back at this point and work on this first part with the writing and define very clearly what the objective, and make up an organization. And their mission is, they want to raise $1 million a year, or something very specific, so that you can work off of that.
Okay.
And with your target audience, you may have different ranges. So, for example, people like retirees might have extra time to be able to, maybe they want to inspire kids and people of all ages to somehow contribute. So in your design, you need to connect to all of those different target audiences to be able to take action and support the organization in some way. Maybe kids can help out by a poster contest. Maybe, maybe elderly can help out by volunteering their time in some way. I'm not sure, but I think that get a clearer picture in your head about who exactly this organization is.
Okay.
And then when you're talking about expected outcomes and benefits, the way that you've written this is about the outcome of kind of like general outcome of a good website, that people can find the information they're looking for. Well, yeah, that's sort of a given. In your outcome, you want to, the expected outcome and benefit of this website is to get more volunteers, raise more money. I think if that's what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when you describe the project, like imagine that you are the client, somebody's going to start up this nonprofit, or the nonprofit has come to you. Explain what the process is going to be like. Like the first step in this process will be to, clearly define what the look and feel should be and how we're going to motivate people to take action. Then we will work on the site architecture, so write it out a little bit to explain to the client what you're going to be doing.
Okay.
So that's what I would go back and figure out. You know how to do wireframes, you know how to do flowcharts, but I think those things are going to change quite a bit once you spend a little bit more time figuring out exactly what the organization is.
Gotcha.
That's my only thought so far.
Okay. Yeah, this was the hardest part for me to kind of figure out, because I didn't really know what exactly it had to all encompass.
It can be whatever you want, but I would just define exactly what it is. Maybe it's a company that makes money and also 15% of their profits go to save the oceans or something like that. Maybe it's like a Tom's Shoes sort of company where you buy a pair of shoes and a pair goes overseas. Maybe, you can come up with whatever you want. It's just we need to know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
You good? You know what to do next?
Yeah, just like work on this and then see how that changes all of this.
Yes. And don't forget, in your flow chart, we talked about this last semester where, if you're, the way that you have things organized in a linear fashion, that's not really how it works. It's a branching structure, because you're not going to go from raise arms to what you can do to donate to partners. That linear structure sort of implies that.
Yeah.
So just FYI, and then you've got some spelling issues too, like achievements.
I need to work on that stuff.
But otherwise, I like the look of your flowchart.
Yeah.
Keep it clean.
Try to keep it simple, like last year.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, Miss Caitlin, you want to show what you have so far?
Yeah.
I heard you had a good internship too this summer.
Yeah, it was really good. So I spent the summer in Austin.
Uh-huh. And what was the company that you worked for?
C3 Presents.
Uh-huh. And what did you do?
I did graphic design. So.
Can you, do you have like a sample of anything? Both of you guys, I don't know if you saw this, but I created a Facebook page for interactive media at Webster.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys like it?
No, but I got it. I created a new Facebook account over the summer, so I've been reliking a lot of stuff that I forgot to like.
I will send you all. I'm going to send you the links because I want you guys to share what you did at your internship this summer, and maybe like if it's allowed from the company, like show a picture of some of the work you did.
Mm. Okay.
Can you do that?
So let me get. So I guess start with this. All right. So like my objective. Well, I'm doing vintage vinyl.
Uh-huh.
Because in one of my other classes, like we had to like develop a marketing plan for local business, and I got them, so I just figured, 2 for 1. So pretty much, if you look at their website, like, it's so bad. So I just, I'm more focusing on just completely, just doing a new design, and then it's gonna, better promote new releases, current products, upcoming events, and also gives users the ability to search through the store's inventory, which, I mean, they already have, but it's like really bad. And so this will, drive people to the store as well as online sales, because I'm not really sure how they do it. Like, they have like an eBay store, I think. And then my target audience is, people with a strong interest in vinyl. Like, I did some research, and pretty much most people that buy vinyl now is like 35 and under. So I figured I'd, focus more on them, because they're probably going to be the ones that are going to be using the website more than the older generation. So expected outcomes, just, increased brand awareness and more sales. I mean, vinyl's at an all-time high, and it's like right now I feel like they're kind of still stuck back, when it was slow, and I think, they really need a new website, because, like, there's pretty much a new generation that's discovering vinyl, and they're in the digital age. So there's that. And the description of project, I wasn't really sure what this was, so I just did kind of just overview of what the website's going to be. So just kind of have a classic, like, vinyl look, but also just be like a modern website. And I figured, like, on the front page there'll be like sliders and like featured albums, upcoming events, and all that good stuff.
Okay, can I go back to description of project? Does it make a little bit more sense based on what we talked about with Zach's?
What?
So remember, you're writing this for vintage vinyl. And this goes for you too, Zach. So I mean, your heading at the top should be proposal for web development, vintage vinyl. You know what I mean? So down here, description of the project is telling vintage vinyl, here's what I'm going to do for you. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to establish an appropriate look and feel that will accommodate, or excite the vinyl buyer with featured albums that have just arrived in the store, something like that. Secondly, we're going to do this. Third, you know what I mean? So you're educating them as to what the process is going to be.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So I got my flow chart. So it's been a while since like I had info architecture like 2 years ago. So it's been a while since I've done this. For pretty much the home page, it's gonna have, like, this is the nav menu. So products, upcoming events, news, and contact. And then the products I figured would be, divided from CDs, vinyl. There'd be like a featured new releases page, and then other merchandise, because they sell like T-shirts and stuff. Under news, I also have like a review section, so that could be there too.
Why do you think that reviews belongs under news?
Because I figured that's going to be more blog style.
Yeah. And then news would be more like events at the store. Well, how is news differing from reviews, I guess?
I don't know, I figured, I guess they maybe should be like in one blog, because that's
news, and I would just call it one segment, like news and reviews, or maybe they're two different blogs where it's like music industry news and then reviews is a separate page.
Okay.
That structure just sort of bothers me. It doesn't seem really intuitive.
Okay. So, does everything else make sense?
Yeah. You've picked a pretty straightforward project, which is great for this first project. I mean, the architecture is pretty simple and straightforward, and I really want you to be focusing on the interface design itself, and you know what the objective is. you want to get people pumped about buying vinyl, and you want them to know that vintage vinyl is the place for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think the fact that the site is pretty straightforward works to your advantage, because you can really just focus on making these interface designs help support the mission of what you're trying to do.
Okay.
So that's good. Just a couple little detail things. When we talked about in our My Info art class last semester, think about the presentation of your flowchart. Do you see? You probably won't see the difference until you try it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing about your flowchart, if you can take the weight of your lines down quite a bit, I don't know if that's like a 1 pixel line, or did you do it in Illustrator or Photoshop?
I did it like using Glyphy.
Okay. Well, if you have control over that, or now that you've figured out what the structure is going to be, mock it up and make it look really nice, like in Illustrator. But
Okay.
what you want is, you want this stuff. You want your, you want the name of the section to pop as opposed to the line work around it. Do you know what I mean? So if you tone this line work down a little bit, your information, which is the crucial part of this diagram, is going to stand out a lot more.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I know it sounds silly, but it's going to make a huge difference.
Okay.
The other thing, I think that your use of statistics is awesome in a proposal, and Zach, you may think about that too. Like, oh, Caitlin, can you go up to your proposal part up there?
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure that in your footer you you cite your source. So
Okay.
you could just do a little bit of a, you could do a little what's it called, a superscript, you know, and then do a footnote underneath. Because remember, this is a proposal. You haven't gotten the job yet. I mean, typically I would write a proposal and I would share the information architecture if it were a small site, and then they come back and they say yay or nay. So in this proposal phase, you want to convince them that you understand what's going on, and by using statistics to help support your case, that can be really powerful. So I think that's a great idea. Just make sure that you, you know, cite your sources.
Okay.
So Zach, that might be of interest to you. You may want to do a little research about, you know, something in the ocean, or you know, something to support your case.
Gotcha.
Got it.
All right.
But I think this is a good start, Caitlin.
Okay, I got my wireframe too.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, you know, pretty much just have the search bar and the logo up at the top, the navigation menu. Like I mentioned before, there's going to be a slider that it has, you know, different images. And I figured down here would be kind of just a brief about section. Like this would be like a, you know, vintage vinyl like picture or something. Just a brief about section, and then like the footer information.
Okay.
So that's all I got for wireframe so far.
Okay, I think that's fine. I think that in your slider, I would remind the audience that this is going to be a slider featuring new releases that will take you right to the store. One click will take you right to the store to be able to buy it.
Okay.
So put a little bit more information there.
Okay.
To me, it seems like the social media icons are kind of hanging out there in a weird location.
It's just like, you know, like some websites, they have them just up at the top left. And so, I mean, I guess I could probably put them towards, like, maybe, like, around here or down here.
Or maybe underneath the search bar, up at the top.
Yeah, usually they have them at the top or at the bottom.
Okay.
I'm just saying they're kind of hanging out towards your alignment is kind of wonky because, you know, these are all fairly nicely aligned over here. I would straighten that up, that alignment on the left-hand side. But then you've got these social media icons hanging out to the left. I mean, maybe it would look fine if it were really clean and neatly aligned, like you had all 4 primary social media icons right there, all in a line.
Mm-hmm.
It might look okay.
Okay. I'll try, you know, experimenting, I guess, with, you know, the search bar and stuff, too.
And I would clean up your alignment on the right-hand side. Like, make that line up with the navigation, lining up with the slider, lining up with about. And again, you know, be sensitive about the weight of the lines that you use, because you don't want this line work to overpower. You want people to see the text that you're writing there to specify what's what, and then they're like, okay, I get it, it's that shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But I think this is a good start. But go back to your objective and think about what you're really trying to do for vintage vinyl and make that be readily apparent in everything that you do. You know what I mean? Like, you've just told us that you want to get people psyched about buying vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, this primary real estate right here that people are, you know, it's above the fold, everyone's going to see it. This is going to be the featured area of new vinyl and featured vinyl. You know, you want to get people excited about it.
Okay.
And I think that your idea about having text about vintage vinyl right here and maybe like a short blurb in the news is a good idea, because having a general description of your company or organization on the homepage is really great for search engine optimization.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I definitely think that's a good idea.
Okay. All right, cool.
I hope you guys, that gives you enough information to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I've only like pretty much got to work on it yesterday, so I've just been brainstorming and stuff. So
that's good. No, you guys both have a really good start.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I want to start now because I'm super busy during the week.
Good. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Then this should be on YouTube, so I'm going to put this in Canvas to share with everybody else, and then I'll give you guys both credit for having done critique 1 of 8.
All right, cool.
All right. All right. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.